My creatinine dropped from 4.5 to normal 1.1 milligrams per deciliters. I avoided dialysis.
In this video, this man's creatinine plummeted from a fatal 4.5 all the way back to 1.1. His creatinine went back to normal. He was completely saved from the machine by a single supplement. A supplement so powerful it can keep you free from dialysis long term. Only one supplement on earth can do that. It is one of the supplements on this exact list. Can you guess which one it is? Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine. Over the years, I have shared some absolutely impressive case reports with you guys of dialysis patients being saved from the machine. But today, we are talking about an outstanding result that was recently published. This man wasn't just saved from the chair. His creatinine, his kidney function went completely back to normal. Incredible! Can you guess which one of these supplements saved his life? Was it CoQ10 or maybe RenaFiber? Activated charcoal or a renal probiotic? Guys, if you think you know the answer, please write it down in the comment section right now. Because all of these supplements have been used in published medical papers as the main therapy to get CKD patients off dialysis. In fact, these are the only 4 supplements that have been successfully used to do that in medical literature. But one of these 4 supplements is truly special because it was the driving force behind what is possibly the most miraculous improvement ever documented in a chronic kidney disease patient. Let's look at the terrifying facts of this case report and try to guess which supplement they used. This is a peer-reviewed case report published in 2023. It followed a desperate patient who was ordered dialysis by not one, but several different doctors. Yeah, this man, he asked for a second opinion, then a third, but all the doctors gave him the exact same sentence: dialysis. And it is not surprising why. His creatinine wasn't just dangerously high. Because of his severe diabetes, his kidneys were physically smaller than normal. Diabetes literally shrinks your kidneys over the years. It's a brutal process called renal atrophy. And when that happens, it means the damage is deeply chronic, not just acute. You never see shrunk kidneys in people with just a temporary acute kidney injury. But why am I telling you this? Because this is a massive clue if you are trying to guess which supplement he took to avoid dialysis. Because having shrunken kidneys means your kidney function is permanently severely reduced. This is not the kind of damage that can usually be reversed. But this man went from needing chronic dialysis immediately back to normal kidney function. All thanks to one supplement on this list, which means he took a supplement that literally replaces dialysis, alright? A supplement that physically removes toxins from the blood, exactly like the machine does. Not just a supplement that helps the remaining kidney cells work better. And that is exactly why I believe we can cross CoQ10 off the list. Don't get me wrong, CoQ10 is an absolute miracle worker. It was actually used in a famous case series to get 9 patients to completely stop dialysis. And that is exactly why I included clinical doses of CoQ10 in my RenaBest, the best kidney multivitamin on the market. But in that specific study, CoQ10 worked by kickstarting the patient's failing kidneys back to life. It gave their cells just enough energy to make urine and remove just enough toxins to dodge the machine. But it cannot magically drop a patient's creatinine from a fatal 4.5 down to a 1.1. CoQ10 is a powerful antioxidant, not a sponge. To pull off a machine like that, we need a heavy-duty detoxifier. We need a supplement that directly removes kidney toxins from the body. Something that directly acts like a sponge, physically pulling toxic kidney waste out of the body. So we are down to our final three contenders: RenaFiber, activated charcoal, and renal probiotics. Which one of these is the holy grail that brought this patient's creatinine all the way back to normal? Let me give you one more crucial hint to find out. This 57-year-old patient didn't just have a terrifying creatinine of 4.5. He was literally showing severe crippling symptoms. With a creatinine of 4.5, his eGFR was hovering around a 14. That means his kidneys were hanging on by a microscopic thread. In fact, his body was literally poisoning itself before he started this treatment. He was suffering from chronic nausea and violent vomiting, symptoms that practically guarantee a one-way ticket to chronic dialysis. And there is something else that forces doctors to start dialysis immediately: lab values that absolutely refuse to budge with normal medications. This man was suffering from severe, stubborn anemia. His blood was starving for oxygen and no treatment was working. In advanced CKD, anemia isn't just caused by your kidneys failing to make erythropoietin. It is actively caused by the suffocating accumulation of uremic toxins. All of these agonizing symptoms improved drastically the moment this mystery supplement was started. So try to guess which one of these supplements can cure nausea, stop vomiting, reverse severe anemia, and save a patient from the dialysis machine? Well, I can tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't a probiotic supplement. Renal probiotics is the next entry we are crossing off the list, and not because probiotics don't help. They absolutely do. This famous kidney doctor is actively getting his patients to stop dialysis by prescribing a protocol that relies heavily on probiotics, both from foods and supplements. His goal is to prove that even in the absolute most advanced stages, CKD can be reversed, as long as you are still making urine, of course. But since he mostly works with patients who have already been trapped on dialysis for months or even years, he hasn't published a standalone case report quite as impressive as the one we are seeing today. Yet. So let's finally answer the ultimate question. Which exact supplement was used to drag this patient's creatinine from a 4.5 down to a 1.1? Was it RenaFiber or activated charcoal? Write it down in the comment section right now if you know the answer. And the answer is RenaFiber! Yes! The absolute miracle that saved this man's life and dragged his creatinine back to a perfect normal 1.1 milligrams per DL is RenaFiber. This is a fully natural, clinical-grade prebiotic fiber made from the hardened sap of the acacia tree. And this fiber has jaw-dropping, documented properties for people suffering from CKD. And the reason why RenaFiber is the exact weapon used to normalize his creatinine is shockingly simple. This fiber acts as a literal form of intestinal dialysis. It works inside your gut in a way that is incredibly similar to a peritoneal dialysis session, but without the nightmare of being surgically tied to a machine for several hours every single day. So the way RenaFiber works is absolutely fascinating. Think of your bloodstream like a city's water supply. When your kidneys fail, toxic nitrogen waste builds up and completely pollutes the water. When a patient does standard peritoneal dialysis, fluid is pumped into the abdomen to artificially filter those toxins out. But what if we could shift all those toxins to the gut instead? What if we could turn your digestive tract into a giant biological sponge and soak up all the toxins? That is exactly what we call intestinal dialysis. During this process, a patient consumes a massive amount of specialized soluble fiber, like my RenaFiber. This fiber acts like a magnet, literally pulling the uremic toxins out of the bloodstream and into the gut, where your bacteria eat them and flush them away. Why aren't we just using it instead of dialysis? And now you might be asking, if this is so powerful, why isn't everyone using it instead of the machine? Well, here is the reality check. To completely replace a dialysis machine, you cannot just take a tiny scoop of RenaFiber. You will have to take a ton of it. The clinical dose used in these studies is 1 gram of fiber per kilogram of body weight, which is like saying that if you weigh 170 pounds, you will need roughly 14 tablespoons of RenaFiber per day, according to this method. Tablespoons, not teaspoons. Listen to me closely. I am not recommending you do that. Taking 14 tablespoons of fiber a day is a clinical intervention that requires strict, rigorous medical supervision. But here is the good news. You don't need a massive hospital-level dose to protect your kidneys. A moderate daily dose is incredibly effective at keeping you off the machine in the first place. So, how do you take RenaFiber safely in all the stages of kidney disease? By following the exact instructions on the screen right now. Let's go to the rules very quickly in case you are taking RenaFiber from Rena Biotech or you want to start it. Rule number 1, start slow. While side effects with RenaFiber are extremely rare, it is famously gentle even for patients with irritable bowel syndrome. Adding a sudden rush of any fiber to your diet can cause mild bloating. Don't shock your system. Follow the chart. Once your gut adjusts, you can safely ramp up to the protective sweet spot of 2 to 6 tablespoons daily. By the way, the result is dose dependent, so try to aim as close as possible to 6 tablespoons a day. Rule number 2, the 1 hour rule. Remember how I said fiber acts like a sponge? Well, it does just soak up toxins. If you take it at the exact same time as your oral medications like metformin, thyroid pills, or blood pressure drugs, it can slow down the absorption of the medications. Now, RenaFiber is considered safe by the FDA, which also implies that the effect on these medications is minimal. But you must always take RenaFiber at least 1 hour apart from any medications or other supplements. And 2 hours are even better. Give your body time to absorb your medicine first. Now, you can mix RenaFiber into water, thicken your soups, or blend it into your daily smoothie. But if you want to make that moderate dose exponentially more powerful without increasing how many tablespoons you take, there is a secret. You must pair it with RenaBiotic. Think of it this way. RenaFiber is the food supply you are dropping into the battlefield, but you still need the soldiers to actually eat the toxins. By adding a targeted renal probiotic like RenaBiotic, you are dropping a fresh, specialized army of good bacteria straight into your gut. You supply the troops with RenaBiotic. You feed them with RenaFiber. Together, they build a biological waste treatment plan right inside your intestines, neutralizing the toxins before they can ever reach your kidneys. Make sure to add both to your cart when you visit renabiotech.co. Okay, and now you might ask, why not activated charcoal? Activated charcoal is a popular detoxifier often used against bloating, gas, diarrhea, and more. It is also used to treat overdoses and poisoning in the ER. This substance is extremely good at binding to uremic toxins in the digestive system and removing them. It's so good that it was in fact used in a published study to replace dialysis. Thanks to activated charcoal, some of these patients were able to avoid dialysis for years. However, to do that, they had to take a huge amount of activated charcoal per day. And now you might ask, should we also add activated charcoal to the mix since it's so good at removing toxins? Well, I don't really recommend you take activated charcoal regularly. While all the other supplements mentioned in this video, RenaFiber, CoQ10, and renal probiotics are something I always recommend, I don't think you should take activated charcoal at all. Here is why. Activated charcoal works. It only has one problem. It works a little bit too much. It binds to and removes lots of things in the intestine. Iron, vitamins, several essential nutrients, and it's even worse when it comes to antihypertensives or immunosuppressants medications because it doesn't just slow down the absorption like RenaFiber would. It totally removes them from the intestine. And while you can take RenaFiber at a different time from meals, making an interaction with drugs extremely unlikely, activated charcoal only works if taken with food. And that's very likely to reduce the effectiveness of your medications. And guys, if you want to learn more about what to do to protect your kidneys, my video appears for you. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye!
My creatinine dropped from 4.5 to normal 1.1 milligrams per deciliters. I avoided dialysis. I took this for a month.